Hi, I'm Gökhan, and today I'm with you with an important topic. When we look at the rapid explosion of artificial intelligence over the last few years, most of us in the GRC and audit world felt a similar sensation, the gap. To put a number on that feeling, recent industry surveys from organizations like ISACA have shown that while 80% of enterprises say their organizations will be using AI within the next year, only about 20% of GRS professionals feel they have the necessary skills to effectively govern those systems. This is a massive high risk disparity. Today, I want to share beyond the knowledge gap my journey to mastering AI governance with Isaka. This is a story about transformation. It's about how I use specific learning theories like generative activity and zone of proximal development to bridge that gap. It's my own story. Before I start my presentation, I would love to mention about CFE. CFE Cert is an independent auditing company operating globally across multiple countries, as you see on the screen, fully accredited by major international standards such as UKAS and IAS to ensure our offering meeting the highest quality and compliance benchmarks worldwide. We hold several key memberships and accreditations. As CFE cert, we are recognized by the CPT certification service, the leading British education accreditation authority, and we are members of Association British certification bodies, UK Cyber Security Council, and the others. And me, I'm Gökhan from Istanbul. I live in Istanbul. I'm the founder of Clever.io, a niche consultancy company providing consultants, especially in new technologies like Web3, blockchain, and AI implementation processes. I'm also the founder of Node. Node is a service company. We're providing blockchain infrastructure for the business models who uses blockchain. And I am also the trainer of ISACA in several certifications, CISA, CISIM, CDBC, and I guess in a few weeks I'll be the trainer in advanced AI risk management domain. And I'm also the trainer of IA Turkey and IA Global. Information technology controls training, CRMA training. Do you know CRMA? Certified Risk Management Assurance. By the way, if you have any question, please type in the chat area. I'll try to do my best to answer your hard questions. By the way, we are having recording this session, and at the end of the session, if you stay at the end till the end of the session, CFE also will reward you with CPs. My friend told me that. And I have a bunch of certifications. So during the session, if you have any question about this certification, also don't hesitate, just type them. And in the agenda, I'll first start with need for change. I'll explain why GRC approaches need change. And then shifting mindset and path of execution. In the part 2, we'll discuss the shift required by GRC professionals to adapt, moving from traditional frameworks to a more dynamic AI-centric approach. Sorry for my English. And finally, part 3, we will lay out the path to execution, providing practical steps on how to actually implement effective AI governance within your organization. No, yes, this is. And part 1. While GRC is used a basic automation, like automated workflows or simple data monitoring. For a decade, the boom we are seeing now is due to a jump in capability and scale. We have been using AI technology for a while. I'm sure that there should be some security guys among you, and they already know the CMDLP firewalls already have been using AI supported technologies to define what is normal, what is anomaly. But with the hype of AI, now we can use AI technology in different occasions, in different scale. Earlier tools were reactive, by the way, and followed strict human written rules. Today's cognitive agents use large language models and generative AI to handle unstructured, because I remember we could not able to analyze unstructured data. We should have, if you wanted to make analysis, we need to have structured data. But with the help of AI now, we don't need to focus too much time on data to turn them into a structured manner. But today we can handle unstructured data like camera recordings, voice recordings, PDFs, emails, right? The shift from traditional to manual, from the traditional manual GRC to this booming AI-driven era changes the conversation in the boardroom too. Senior management and stakeholders are no longer looking for compliance reports. They are looking for strategic intelligence, right? In the past, stakeholders wanted to know if the company passed a specific audit. Now they expect a constant pulse in resilience because AI can monitor risk in real time. Management expects the GRC team to anticipate market shifts of geopolitical risk before they impact the bottom line. Global reports show that boards are not happy with us, assurance teams, because we spend too much time in audits, analysis, 2 months, 3 months, but time passed, time shifts constantly. We need more proactive. Executive leadership now expects high velocity data. If a CEO asks about a risk of new kind, about a new AI deployment, they expect a quantified answer based on live data. Quantified means financial. You should turn the data into financial impacts. They want to see how much they will pay and how much a risk, or how much a risk can cost them. Not a best guess, by the way. They need exact numbers because they know we are now AI supported. And now you're looking Ghost Cascades diagram. If any of you has heard about it, please type or hands, hold up your hands. It's coming from COBIT, ISACA COBIT approach. ISACA COBIT framework. This is information and technology governance, not IT governance framework. It's enterprise governance of IT framework. Aims to help us create our business objectives with starting the right point. It's not with the technology or the specific code. We start at the very top with stakeholder drivers and needs. Stakeholders are the most valuable asset for any entity, any company. Is there any business function that can operate without understanding stakeholders and their expectations? It's ridiculous. Internal audited departments are one of the units. Their works affect whole out of a company. These needs then move down or cascade into enterprise goals. First, internal audit department should understand stakeholders' expectations. Who are our stakeholders? We have a diverse stakeholders, external, internal stakeholders. We'll see in the next slide. But I cannot move from to next slide. What happened? What's happened? Yes. Yes, we have different kind of stakeholders. We can categorize them into two: external, internal. External stakeholders, the auditors, regulators, partners, our clients, and nowadays also all citizens, not just our clients, because of sustainability projects now on Earth. If you claim you're a modern world entity organization, you should also serve all citizens, the nature, your environment. You should prove it. So they also become your stakeholder. What what do you have? We have inner stakeholders like business units, executive leadership, investors, partners, audits. No, they are outer, external stakeholders. Audit committee, and all of these stakeholders has have unique value expectations, and they have own prioritized needs. Balancing these distinct needs is essential for our success for GRC as GRC teams. Failure to do so poses significant operational and reputational risk. And all we know, if a GRC team wants to be successful, they should have good reputation among our employees, all stakeholders, no, because stakeholders are the most important part of our business. They directly or indirectly influence our work by they provide necessary resources, right? They determine the success or failure of business initiative. If a regulation changes, for example, we have to be ready to pivot our roadmap immediately. To do that, we need to invest in full automation, but we won't get the budget if we are only seen as an expense or a cost center by our one of the valuable stakeholder, senior management. We have to show the board that we are there to provide strategy, not just compliance. The biggest challenges is making sure our rules don't stop the business from moving. In modern business life, if our risk checks that weeks, we are just a bottleneck. For example, nowadays I am working with a company. In the start of the companies, we are working with them AI strategy management, and in the beginning of in the inception, I'm trying to use the right English word, inception of the project. A financial official asked me, "Okay, you want to manage a project in our company, but we're afraid you will cause problems. You will slow down us," because because of their experience, they had this kind of understanding. We have to change this. Otherwise, these stakeholders will not cooperate with us. They will not provide our sources and shift in mindset. I don't know how is the weather in England, but in Turkey now it's very hot, Istanbul, so I have to drink a lot. Jersey professionals must evolve their roles. I need to emphasize this. The industry doesn't expect us to become AI engineers or data scientists. Rather, my understanding is that our value lies in being the vital between these new technology and our business goal and stakeholders. We can be the interpreter with this change and stakeholders. Our stakeholders, like senior management, they are old guys mainly, like me, and they have very little understanding about new technologies because they are strategic guys. They should understand stakeholders again, their stakeholders, business objectives. So they have very limited time to deep dive in this kind of technologies, but GRC teams can help them. to understand this. And for me, we have three main domains: strategic thinking as GRC experts, tech literacy and collaboration, interaction, communication. Um, the way I see it, we use our tech literacy not to master the code, but to grasp the why behind an AI's output. Today, for example, I wrapped up a training for 16 hours training for IAA Turkey, AI technology risk management and audit. At the beginning of the training, I always ask the attendees, what is your purpose to uh, come for this to this kind of training? Mainly, they are claiming they want to learn how the prompt or technical aspects of AI. And I always tell them, you are doing your point is the hardest one, because for the auditors, GRC experts, we already have strong skills like internal control, risk management, and governance. These are very powerful three features. Rather than stopping them and deep diving in technical skills aspects of AI is committee suicide. We don't need to do that. We should help the company understand the aspects, governance needs, risks of AI. To do this, you need to understand the terms. Rather than learning, developing, it is better to understand the terms. It is hard because uh, different from the other technologies like cloud, IoT, OT, 5G. Now AI technology has its own terminology. They resemble to data governance, data analytic terminology, but it's every day produces new terminology, new use cases. So it is really hard. You should read every day and update yourself. And strategic thinking, you should think about the future of your company, how we can assess return of investment of an AI technology investment. It's not just a technology domain. We need to gather technology teams, legal teams, human resource, maybe psychologists together to define how my AI investment help to gain my vision, strategic objectives, and counts cross-functional collaboration. In this regard, we are gathering the teams. We are helping them to communicate each other. I'm sure some of you are technical guys, cybersecurity people have different terminology. They look into a topic from different angle. But GRC experts standing in the middle of business sides, technical sides can help to communicate each other with reporting, with organizing meetings, with providing trainings about AI governance. These are extremely important. And in this regard, to get and we should also prepare our GRC teams and to get our team ready. I structured a three-phase approach, and I use this with my clients, like Architect, a company here creating or developing AI solutions for financial ecosystem. They are very strong. There are almost like hundreds of like 700 of developers creating new solutions for financial sector. They are also selling this to Germany, other European countries, Gulf countries. But the GRC team in this company plays an extremely important role. As I mentioned, they are organizing collaboration, They are providing management control systems. This is important. So they should update themselves with technical stuff too. Uh, and in this regard, instead, we must close the fluency gap through a tiered structure strategy that builds capability from the ground up. We begin at level 1, general AI fluency. Here, the goal is cultural adaptation, not complex engineering. By establishing an AI champions network, we create a peer-led environment where team members share daily success and learn to use basic generative AI prompts. But how? We can start with defining AI tools the team is authorized to use. Enterprise grade chat GPT, Microsoft Copilot, or specific proprietary tools. And then clearly communicating what data can and cannot be put into these tools. For example, never input PII, personal identifiable information, or unredacted client financial records into public models, only allowing prompts that have been verified to produce high quality hallucination free outputs to remain in the library, or appointing one or three AI champions within our team, auditors who are naturally curious and slightly more tech safe, like younger auditors. They became the first line of support for our teammates who are struggling with these new technologies. And lastly, hosting brief 50-minute sessions where team members show one thing they automated or improved using AI that week. We applied in our client architect. And next, we move to level 2, technical auditing. This is where we apply our traditional audit skills to AI. And the biggest mistake I see auditors make here is trying to audit the code. We don't need to be a software engineer to audit AI. We need to be a risk governance experts, as I told you before. We audit the design, the data, and the final results. It's enough, for now at least. And we start by creating a model risk inventory to map out exactly what we are looking at. And another important thing to remember here is that the most point of failure is AI isn't the intelligence itself, it's data that fits it. We better to analyze the data lineage too. And finally, level 3, we reach ethical and regulatory expertise. If level 1 was about daily efficiency and level 2 was about operational risk, level 3 is about strategy. And at this level, we should ensure that there is an efficient process and structure to analyze every AI project before it gets a budget or moves to a production, must pass a formal impact assessment. And when the AI boom first took off, I remember freezing and stepping back and starting to observe. It was a furious, fast-moving period of change, almost overwhelming in its pace. I saw job titles change overnight and a sudden wave of AI experts appearing everywhere, presenting, explaining, and launching new ventures. A lot of my friends created their own companies, AI companies, with knowing very little about AI, but they have that courage. Yeah, and it was a chaotic environment. And in that time, I chose to keep watching. It was a mistake. Instead of rushing in with the crowd, I wanted to truly understand the noise before finding the signal. In psychology, there are two main theories that explain this kind of hesitation. The first is statistical bias, and which suggests that humans naturally fear losing their current comfort zone and perceive and change as a threat. However, looking back at my own journey, I don't believe that was my case. I have always been a fan of learning new things and I truly enjoy being challenged. Instead, I believe my past was the result of cognitive overload. According to cognitive load theory, when we are bombarded with too much unorganized information, our working memory hits a limit. To prevent a mental system crash, the brain's threat center, the amygdala, it's very hard for me to say in English, triggers a phase response. In my view, we often all fall into these psychological traps when faced with such massive shifts. We start with wait and see skepticism, thinking the hype might pass. Then we fall into the perfectionism trap, feeling we can't understand until we understand every technical detail. This leads to analysis and paralysis, where we spend so much time watching that we fear late to the game fallacy, that feeling that we're already missed the boat. But my realization was that the biggest risk we face isn't the technology itself, it's the high opportunity cost of staying in this cycle. This period of observation taught me that while technology is powerful, we cannot let the furious pace of change paralyze our judgment. We have to move past these struggles to find our place in the new landscape. As all we know, AI is a black box because we can't see the logic behind its decisions. Without tools to explain that logic, it's impossible to audit the results. Here I want to share one of my observation. I have providing CISA training and ISAC accredited trainer uh, as well as fundamental cybersecurity auditing for IOE Turkey. During these trainings, I am uh, working with a lot of train audits and risk experts, and they generally they complain about they do not understand the technical aspects of AI and they afraid of it. But as I mentioned, we don't need to learn the technical side, the development side, security side of this technology, at least at the beginning. We should first understand the business objectives, then uh, expectations of senior management, what kind of problems our business units have, and how AI can help it, and how we can calculate return of investment. How can we monitor AI systems on live? This will extremely helpful for our organization to adopt these technologies. And rather than going deep into the technical side, staying in governance and risk domain will help us a lot, especially for our company. And what is governance? Governance has different definitions. And again, I'll go over ISACA definition in this regard again. And ISACA says governance has three functions. First, resource optimization. Second, risk optimization. And third, value creation. We have a lot of we have to deal with a lot of risks. The risk already we have the emerging risks, but we have limited resources. So we should define or we should help the senior management to use these sources for uh, answering high risks to in order to create value for our stakeholders. To do that, for AI domain, achieving these objectives of governance function needs auditors to engage from the start. As well, we know governance function is represented by the board in any organization, and they operate these over some mechanisms like second line of defense, third line of defense, internal control functions, risk management functions, cybersecurity functions, or internal audit functions. And here, as you see on the slide, at initial design phase of development of AI lifecycle, as GRC experts, we provide early assurance by helping the team define success metrics and oversight requirements. This allows the business to build the necessary controls into the foundation of the project from the start. And it goes this way. In the data ingestion phase, we focus on data integrity and examine the data lineage, screening protocols to ensure the information used for training is accurate, representative, and reliable within strengths the model's foundation. At pre-deployment phase, at this stage, we perform independent validation. We review the model's robustness and explainability to confirm that the development team is ready for launch and that the model's logic is transparent and defensible. At post-deployment phase, we maintain continuous assurance. We review performance metrics and the effectiveness of monitoring alerts to ensure the AI system remains within the organization's established risk tolerances. And this sentence was a turning point for me. It was spoken by a legal colleague, someone highly respected for her work in AI. As I explained the expectations from GRC experts and my pause in the AI hype, I was thinking about how can I adapt myself. And in that period, I tried to work with my colleague. She was expert in EU AI Act, and I told her, okay, what if we can create a training session for internal control and risk management expert, even legal expert about EU AI Act. But she told me that, okay, sorry, but I need a technical guy and you are not a technical guy. It was a great shock for me because as a GRC expert, I felt like I am enough technique to understand the transformation, digital transformation, the importance of AI, the fundamental information technology structure, but a legal expert did not find me technical. Then I realized, okay, even she has been working in this domain, has little understanding what AI era needs from a GRC expert, because I believe you don't need to be technical. So I directly called IEA Turkey and asked him, okay, I have an idea. We can create a training session for GRC experts in AI technology risk management. And I'm sure it will get a lot of interest. And they accepted my idea, and I started to create a session just for GRC experts. In this period, I applied an approach I already know from Isaka Kobit. As you see on the screen, this is Isaka Kobit implementation process life cycle, and it starts with what are the drivers section. It is in this area. We need something to ignite our curiosity, and that was my curiosity ignited by this question. And with the help of this understanding, I create a plan. I first start with providing trainings to sector. This will give me opportunity to understand more about the AI technology and put myself into this constant change. And in this period, with the help of the knowledge I gained, I may choose in which area to focus in AI domain. And I have another uh, inspiring thing. Do you know this handsome guy? Uh, he's Seneca the Younger. He was a prominent Roman Stoic philosopher, statesman, and dramatist. He's a writer and politician in Rome. And he had a very famous saying, "Docento discumus." It means by teaching, we learn. I already know these guys, and his brain, uh, brain sentences. So I applied this approach in several times in cybersecurity domain, IT audit domain, and again in AI domain. I decided to apply this approach. And on this screen, you see my friends on the left side. They are from financial ecosystem. Some of them are legal experts, some of them are cybersecurity experts, and some of them are developers. And together, I invite them and we created a training plan for this domain. And with the help of it, I started to create my training session. I then created it. It was like 194 slides. It starts with AI fundamentals and it goes over NIST AI risk management, OAPS, MITRE Atlas, ISACA, AI audits framework. I explain all these approaches for the people who wants to learn mainly about AI governance. And then I went with ISO 42001 certification and became lead auditor. It also improved my understanding. And then I created another training session for Turkish financial ecosystem. And it was about NIST AI risk management framework. And in this period, I used a lot of different kind of source as you see on the screen. The sources are more than this. I just add some of them here. And you can also take a photo of this screen and you can check if you have an interest about it. And Isaka has a lot of different sources. They help me a lot. But in this period, I have also used different approaches in human learning. I am a good reader. I read a lot, especially about history, geography, anthropology, novels, world novels. Uh, and when if you had a chance to see my desk, you will see at least 6 different books ready for read. And uh, on the screen, you see a name of a book, and I first encountered this book a few years ago, and I found it very fascinating. At that time, I didn't realize how much I would eventually rely on it. But the learning dynamics explained by Fiolarella and Meyer fit perfectly with the approach I use to reinvent my own skill set. Their core message is that learning is a generative activity. It's not about sitting back and observing data. It's about actively constructing meaning. This leads directly into what I consider my sacred weapon for mastering new concepts, writing. I am providing a lot of training, and I always tell the attendees, please not just listen, create content, do audit, apply a risk management. Otherwise you will forget it. So I choose to write and I create my own Medium publication. I invited a lot of uh, sector expert to write together. This helped me a lot. And I also started a newsletter in LinkedIn, and its name is Digital Trust for AI and Web3. This helped me to map all the things I learned in this period. And this is another theory explaining how we act while learning in constantly changing environments. The zone of proximal development, ZPD. This theory explains that real growth happens in the middle, gray circle. In the center, you have what you can do unaided. Your core expertise. This is your core expertise. On the far outside is the black circle. Things you cannot do yet. I see some GRC experts, as I told, trying to jump straight into the black circle by learning AI coding or trying to analyze complex AI models from a developer's perspective. To me, this makes no sense. We are not developers, we are governance experts. If you jump too far out of your zone, you lose your footing. Instead, I chose to stick to my strongest capabilities and expand them. I stayed in that gray zone. In that space, there was the AI jargon, AI literacy, AI governance concepts, AI risk management, and the question of how to apply AI technology to our businesses. These were the things I couldn't do alone at first, but with the right frameworks and guidance, they were within my reach. This helped me to reach step by step to outer zone. Nowadays, I started to learn about developing about AI because I now have a strong understanding of concepts, the terminology, how to govern it. And here is another Isaka feature. Helped me a lot. To safely step into the gray zone, I lean on communities filled with true experts in these domains. I actively engage with Isaka Engage. Maybe you know or you don't. If you are the member of Isaka, you should spend some time Isaka Engage area. There are thousands of experts all over the world discuss about important domains. They help me to improve my understanding about AI domains because it is close to public. There are just skillful expert professionals who are also part of a family, member of a family, and they are eager to help you. This is another uh, an important mechanism I used during this period. And this is the final theory I want to share with you, and it's perhaps the most important for long-term mastery. Desirable difficulties, a concept developed by Robert Bjork. Bjork is a distinguished research professor of psychology at UCLA. He is widely considered one of the world's leading experts on human memory and how we learn. The idea is counterintuitive. We usually think that if learning feels easy, we are doing it well. Bjork argues the opposite. If you want to actually retain knowledge, you need to introduce difficulties that challenge your brain during the process. Think of a tennis player, like using a ball machine that hits the exact same shot to their forehand every time. They look great in practice, but if the coach moves them around and hitting different speeds and angles, the player's immediately performance drops. They miss shots. Yet this varying condition is what actually prepares them for a real match. If you want to master a new world, you must stop looking for the most comfortable path. We have to embrace the friction and deliberately place ourselves in a challenging, high pressure process. And here is the case, real case. The company I have been recent I have worked with, and I get their permission to share this slide. They are doing great in financial ecosystem. They have a lot of tools. They are the users of some AI technologies, like they use Copilot, they use Claude, they use different kind of solutions from Microsoft, Amazon, but they are also creating their own, and they are selling these tools or providing as a service to other financial companies. It's really hard work. It has a lot of risks, and because of providing these solutions, they should they should manage this risk smartly. In this regard, their GRC teams, we are working with them, improving their capacity. These guys at the start has no information or experience about AI, mainly coming from financial ecosystem. But in the time, they first improve their capacity in governance, risk, and compliance. Then, step by step, in the time frame, they improve their capacity about understanding AI function, AI capacity, AI developments, cybersecurity aspects of AI. And nowadays they are doing great without jumping into directly to the AI development. AI development, these guys improve their skills step by step, and now they cooperate with AI development teams to in creating new solutions and how adapt these solutions to their business or for the clients uh, business processes. They help developers to understand the risks they can face and manage them. You can check their websites and also learn more about their approaches. To wrap up my session, uh, I think GRC professionals must actively engage in the AI landscape and establish foundations for trustworthy AI, but with their skills and capacity in governance, risk, and compliance, and overcome a passive mindset by embracing continuous learning strategies such as teaching to learn and facing challenges. They are very extremely important, and utilizing structure methods, standards, communities. Standards will also help you a lot. And in the rapid evolving AI field, ongoing adaptation and engagement are essential for our success. We cannot stop. We should learn constantly. We should put ourselves into this change. And my presentation ends here. If you have a question, I'm ready to answer. Thank you for attending. And these are the social media accounts of CFE and their solutions, trainings, webinars you can see on the slide. Thank you for listening and attending. I guess there is no question. Please connect over LinkedIn. It's also important because experts all around the world can share each other, can share their insights, understandings, and each other on LinkedIn. It is very helpful.